Good morning, guys. This is Royalty Crypto here, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at Near Protocol because it's starting to look very bullish in my opinion, and it's also in line with the hottest narrative in the space right now, that being privacy coins. I'm also going to take a look at the overall crypto market as a whole because we are off to a very solid start this morning. And guys, this is a brand new YouTube channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. But without further ado, let's take a look at this market. So as you guys can see here, Bitcoin is currently trading at 103,600, which is up about 2% from last night when we were sitting at 102,000. So that is very good to see. And it is starting to look more and more likely that Bitcoin did find a bottom at 99,000. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that is the case. But let's go ahead and scroll down to the 32nd most valuable coin in the space, and that is Near Protocol. As you guys can see, Near is up nearly 40% in the past 7 days and 5.5% in the past 24 hours. We're currently trading at $2.94, which equates to a $3.7 billion market cap, and we have a juicy $1 billion in trading volume in the past 24 hours. Not too shabby for a Saturday and a Sunday. But alright guys, let's take a look at this chart. So when we go over to the market cap section, you can see that Near Protocol peaked in April of 2022, which is very interesting to see because this was actually a very bearish time for the majority of altcoins. And we did get to an $11 billion market cap. So I think that we could easily get back to that level. And actually, I'll say that my very realistic price target for Near Protocol in the next year or so is $20 billion market cap. And I think that the sky is truly the limit. So I mean, I could see a scenario where Near got to about $100 billion market cap, but we would need the market to be extremely euphoric, and we would need to be in a parabolic alt season, and Near would most likely need to be the hottest layer one in the space at that given time. So I do think it's possible. However, I wouldn't be holding all of your Near Protocol and praying to sell at a $100 billion market cap. I don't think that would be a wise decision whatsoever. So personally, what I'll be doing is I'll be selling on the way up according to different indicators. And if you guys are watching my channel, I'll let you guys know when I think it's a good time to be taking some profits. Another very bullish thing about Near Protocol in the short term is that a lot of other projects that are very similar to it, like Zcash and ICP, have been going absolutely parabolic lately. And a lot of times what happens in the crypto space is these narratives will form and get hot, and people will make an absurd amount of money on the coins that run first, and then they'll all start to think, these coins kind of seem like they're starting to top. Maybe I should sell and find the next coin in that narrative that will likely run next. And I believe that Near Protocol could potentially be that coin because it is a layer one blockchain, it is a privacy coin, and it's still at a very good value in my opinion at 3.7 billion. So not only does the midterm look very bullish, but the short term does as well. And when you go on over to their X account, you can see that they are definitely embracing this privacy narrative, which is very good to see. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the overall crypto market and some interesting pieces of news that I saw earlier this morning. So when you take a look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we are sitting at a 24. Now, realistically, we're probably at a 27 to 28 now because this updated last night, and we have had quite a bit of bullish momentum return to the crypto space. So in my opinion, guys, it is a good time to be accumulating altcoins. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but whenever we're this low into fear, you can really find some fantastic discounts in the alt space. And once we naturally return to greed and extreme greed, hopefully in the coming months, I do expect that it will be in the coming months, but you can never be certain about that. But once we do get there, I'm sure that a lot of the buys that I'm doing right now will end up paying off quite nicely. All right, guys, so let's take a look at some news. So apparently the US Senate will vote to potentially end the government shutdown at 1:30 p.m. today. Now, I think it's far from a guarantee that the government shutdown will end today. However, I think that it's very likely that we will see an end to it sometime this week. Now, the reason for that is, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to like the situation with the US airports right now, but it is an absolute nightmare. And I think that that is starting to put a lot of pressure on the US government. And also, guys, none of these workers are getting paid. There will most likely be back pay, but that won't happen until the government opens up again. And I believe that those people are starting to feel it. But I think that once the government does finally reopen, it should be very bullish for crypto. And in fact, last time the government was shut down for almost this long, back in, I believe, 2019, markets pumped for 7 weeks straight after the government reopened. So will that be the case? I can't say for sure, but it would be very awesome to see, especially since crypto's been taking a beating for the past 2 months. All right, guys, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is this tweet that Trump had from this morning. So he actually said that he's planning on giving a $2,000 stimulus check to everybody besides high income people that will be paid from the tariff revenue. So this is very interesting, guys. And last time that we had stimulus checks given out back in 2020 and 2021, it actually did pump the altcoin market like crazy. Now, there was way more money given out back then. Like, I know some people personally that ended up receiving like over $10,000 in stimulus checks. So I'm sure that it won't be nearly as crazy, but this would undoubtedly pump some liquidity back into the markets. And you know that retail traders love to buy altcoins and meme coins and all that. So that could really help crypto out in a fantastic way. So fingers crossed that this actually does happen. This could really start the parabolic bull run. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope that you guys have a fantastic Sunday, and I will be talking to you guys tomorrow. Peace.